12 KOs. He's the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jeff the Hitman Hardy.
All right, Nestor. All right, gentlemen, I gave you both the rules in the dressing room. Ya te dije las reglas en el camerino. I want a good, clean fight. I want una pelea limpia. Protect yourselves at all times. Protégete a todo tiempo. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
And a look at Jeff Harding. He is the champion, despite the fact he's had only 15 fights. The victory over John Andres, a huge win for him. For Nestor Giovannini, another chance. These two, remember, fought before. It was an extremely close fight. On two of the officials' cards, Harding won by 1 point, and on the referee's card, he had a vote. He won by 2 points, so very close fight.
To make the sequel so interesting, you wait to see who makes what type of adjustments.
Giovannini, a counter puncher, right there with a counter right hand. Patient fighter, says he might have to throw a few more punches in this fight. Harding clearly the stronger of the two.
Giovannini realizes the need for more aggression than in the last fight. He's fighting a champion now, not just another 10-round fighter.
Up in the ground pretty good early in this fight. A right hand by Giovannini. Not waiting this time. And another right hand. And another right hand.
And some of these have been lead rights, which surprised Harding a little bit because they were counter rights in the last fight.
And one thing to note, of course, Harding has had a propensity to cut. You saw that cut in the highlight that we showed you against Dennis Andrews.
Harding is a sign of what prosperity can do after just 15 fights. He's rekindled the interest of Donnie Lalonde and Bobby Ches, both who want to come out of retirement to fight him because of his drawing power back in Australia.
Talked about it many times, and what an outstanding division the light heavyweight both is and will be, because there's a lot of good up-and-coming fighters in that division as well.
Andrew Maynard wants to get a shot pretty soon. They got the 4 champions are pretty solid.
Hold on.
And this is a good cycle for the light heavyweight division. Of course, you've got Michael Moore in there also, Virgil Hill, and Prince Charles Williams.
3 good ones, all fighting very well at the moment. Harding probably the least known of the champions, and to be very honest with you, probably the least respected of the champions, but after tonight, who knows?
And his right hand by Giovannini just getting through. Almost at will. Harding's going to have to start jabbing to cut off that right hand. Even a double jab to make sure that Giovannini doesn't have the distance for his right hand.
There's a right hand by Harding. Got there. And a left hand by Harding. Good crisp left hand. A lot of strong punches, actually, from both men in this first round. Giovannini a few more than the champion, Jeff Harding. So we head for the end of the first round. We're going 12. This one's for the title. And we'll be back to Atlantic City after this.
Time!
Giovannini's money punch in the first round. The overhand right landed there.
And landed a number of times.
And for Harding, the big punch was the jab. 12-4, an edge on Giovannini in the first round.
Continues to be there for the right hand of Giovannini. Take a look at our punch profile in the first round, and a very, very close round.
And I would give it to Giovannini based on the power of the punches in his arsenal, which really can change a close fight and swing it to one person.
You can see Jeff Harding has gotten the bulk of his opponents out of there. Well conditioned. In fact, both men look in very good shape. I guess you get a championship shot to get yourself in good shape. That was a good left hand by Harding, but it backed Giovannini up.
And in his last 2 fights, Harding has displayed what he calls the champion's confidence. It makes you a 25% better fighter just based on your self-confidence. He's attacking more. Senses that he's going to land.
I had the sense when we spoke with him this morning, and of course you always ask a fighter about the dangers of looking by an opponent like Giovannini, because he does have a Donnie Lalonde fight, which is certainly a bigger money fight than this. And I really had the sense he indeed was not looking past Nestor Giovannini.
Both fighters well schooled, and they're going for it. Good body shots by both.
Yeah, but a lot of very crisp punches thrown by both men. There's a left hand by Harding. He's got a couple there in this round.
What's happening a little bit here is that Giovannini's starting to punch, backing up more than he did in the opening round. We'll see if that trend continues. It will affect his power if that continues.
Hey, you're right. He really is throwing punches off his back foot now.
Hold on. All the next.
Right hand by Harding. And a better second round for Jeff Harding. It's really not to say the first one was bad, but this one, I think, in the corner of the man from Australia.
Hi.
Watch the left hand of Jeff Harding switch from defense to offense. Perfectly.
Harding, when we talked about this fight, the fight between these two previously, he said he came in a lot lighter. He was 172, and a big shot, right hand left behind it. Giovannini goes down. A little bit off balance, which had as much to do with it as the punch.
Part of Harding's appeal, he can explode at any time. He gets hit, and he can deliver the big punch.
Harding takes a good long look at Giovannini to see if his man is hurt. Giovannini going backwards here. And Harding trying to get rid of him.
Giovannini should be trying to hold on and trying to weather this for a little while.
I didn't have a sense that Giovannini was really hurt by that. I think it was as much the two punches as it was the fact that he was going in a backward position, which he's been doing, as you pointed out, since the middle of the last round.
The pace of this fight so far seems to be telling more on Giovannini. He's only had 2 rounds in the last year.
Body shots by Harding. Good body shot.
Hold on.
Low blow. Giovannini will have as much time as he needs.
Time. 10 corner, Jeff. 10 corner.
Joe Cortez tells Jeff Harding to stand in the neutral corner.
Are you? Huh? All right. Keep the punches up, right, Jeff?
Giovannini's all right. They touch gloves and we go on.
There again you see the Giovannini counter, but while he was backing up and it came up short. Harding more effective with his head in this round, driving Giovannini back.
Now, Harding's no secret. You know where he's going to be. Right hand counter punch again by Giovannini.
Harding walks smack into it. Pretty good shot.
Combination by Harding. And that backs Giovannini up again. Uppercut though by Giovannini, and they also clashed heads there. Good left hand again. That staggers Giovannini. That punch actually may have hurt him more than the knockdown punch. Big round for Jeff Harding.
Ve que te pega porque vos levantás la cabeza, viejo. No levantés la cabeza así. Respiralo y tú metiste más adentro. Tratá de bajar un poco más adentro. ¿Eh?
Harding coming in. You see the right hand from a distance and catches Giovannini in the right position, and it was sort of a counter lunging right by Harding. He senses where Giovannini's going to be, and he gets there first. Good strength from far away by Harding.
Really was. Actually, it was a better punch now that I watch it on replay than it looked at the time.
He set that up by knowing where Giovannini was going to go, and he got himself over there and landed from a distance.
And then later in the round.
Just as good as the knockdown punch.
Really was. Two good shots in a big round by Jeff Harding. And again, Giovannini continuing to fight off his heels. Which I suppose is better than fighting off your back, isn't it?
One step better.
Yes. Although he did a little of that, too. In the third round, as you see, Harding more than twice as many punches. Very good round for him.
Now, I bet if you broke down the percentage of power punches opposed to punches thrown, and Harding's percentage would be among the better ones in boxing.
On your card, 2-point edge for Harding.
After a 2-point round. Not an automatic call.
No, I had it that way, too. Counter right hand by Giovannini.
Get him out, let's go.
Giovannini obviously now with a healthy respect for the punching power of Jeff Harding. Right hand lead that time by Giovannini. He's doing well with that, actually. He took a counter left from Harding.
He's telegraphing off the left shoulder of Harding. When that moves, then Giovannini is firing his right hand. He's been uncanny with that throughout the fight, as long as he's not backing up when he does it. When does he back up? When Harding jabs him.
Almost every time he jabs, as a matter of fact. Giovannini going backwards.
You look at the difference as to why Harding might be edging ahead. He has shown more weapons so far. Giovannini's got the right hand and he's been good with it, but Harding's been good with right hands, left hooks, and jabs.
Harding with a left-handed again. Back to Giovannini, yep, right back to top of him with a combination. Harding's jab very effective in this round. It's a good strong jab too. Right hand lead that time.
There's a punch that Harding took, which was a counter right by Giovannini. If he can learn to come forward with his head and his gloves up as he does it, and then punch up the counter, he'll be okay.
Left hand again by Harding. That also rocked Giovannini. Gotta like the strength of Jeff Harding. A lot of snap in his punches. This is the fourth round, and more of same. Jeff Harding starting to establish himself.
It's Giovannini on the attack, but it's Harding that scores with a pair of shots.
In Harding's corner, as we take a look at that left hand, this was toward the end of the round. Good shot. Harding's corner, they said, catch his right hand and then throw your punch.
That's been the only shot getting through on Harding tonight. And that is something that a simple adjustment in the gym can take him out of.
Very crisp jab on the part of Harding as we take a look in the fourth round, and Harding really establishing himself here.
He's maintaining his degree of punches, and Giovannini not becoming as accurate now.
Work out.
This is for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. We're going 12 rounds. I'm Barry Tompkins with Dave Bentempo tonight for Al Bernstein. We're in Atlantic City. Jeff Harding from Australia, the WBC champion in the black trunks. Nestor Giovannini, Rafaela, Argentina in the red trunks.
Work out, come on. Fuérdalo.
Pace of the fight really telling on Giovannini. He's slowed down dramatically since the beginning.
As you saw in the numbers a few moments ago, his punch production has dropped about in half in the first round. Those were caught on the gloves of Harding.
Come on.
And they have half the steam of the earlier shots. And Harding's taken something out of Giovannini with some body shots, along with the pace of this fight having an effect.
Let go clean. Let's go.
Once again, that jab of Harding's backing Giovannini up consistently now.
And backing him straight up into the path of other shots.
Headbutt there. And Joe Cortez calls time, and I can't see if there's a cut.
Get the camera back. Okay, wait, get the camera back. Let's go.
There is no cut. Giovannini was blotting at his eyes, though he expected to see blood. There wasn't any. It was a serious headbutt, but fortunately, no cut. And again, a headbutt. And Joe Cortez warns him. 2 headbutts from Jeff Harding, and that's going to happen with a fighter who fights in Harding's style.
A lot of head movement equals a lot of head butts.
No buts about it.
Hey.
I've been bleeding me out there. Huh?
Peering into the corner of Jeff Harding. It's been a very calm corner. A corner obviously feels its man is in control of the fight. It's probably fair to say, at least on my card, he is.
Come on, son, you still got to keep your hands up before.
He is slowly
if you
taking
do
the
keep
time
them up, then he throws down, drop them down too quick. Because he'll come over you. Only get a bit tight.
All right, second down.
So we are set for round number 6.
And the trend continues as far as punch volume. That round 42-8 in favor of Harding.
Getting more so in favor of him, as a matter of fact.
Let it go.
Harding has been a guy that has proven he can do well in the closing rounds. So pace is not a problem for him. And the jabs are really getting the job done for Jeff Harding, as you can see, 4-1, almost 5. In fact, it is 5-1 jab.
And when he's doing that, he's taking everything away from Giovannini, not just out jabbing him, but making Giovannini go back on his heels and throw the right hand.
And it's not a pity-pat jab. Pretty good jab.
All right, Rego, come on, you guys, come on, watch them heads.
Giovannini again walks away, says, "You're butting me. Now come on, do something here." There has not been a cut off any of those butts, but there have been 3 in the last minute.
Well, I think sometimes a little frustration setting in for Giovannini, too. Even a borderline offense might get him upset.
All right, work out there, work out, hold on. Get out, let's go, work out.
Giovannini trying to work the body. Giovannini looks a little bit more tired now.
That's why he wants this fight inside if he can get it. Try to conserve energy. Harding would be smart to try to keep it on the outside. But Harding's showing somewhere too. This was a fast-paced beginning.
Harding a couple of shots to the body. Pace is slowed in this round in general.
At some point, this resembles the middle portion of a 1-mile horse race. They go fast around the first quarter, and then they settle into a pace.
And wait for the stretch run. Giovannini pawing a lot more with his punches.
Harding's been timing a lot more of these counter shots. You take a look at his gloves when Giovannini gets ready to fire. There's a reaction by Harding. Gloves come up closer to the chin. He knows where the punch is headed for. It's telegraphed.
Coming to the end of round number 6. Slower pace in this round, but still I think the results just about the same as most of the others have been. After the Ray Leonard-Roberto Duran fight, being in Ray Leonard's dressing room, and Eddie Aliano was in his corner, and I'll tell you, that was the worst cuts that I can remember seeing in the last several years. And Eddie Aliano said that had that have happened earlier in the fight, Ray Leonard would not have won the fight. And he did a great job on it. This is in round number 7, our punch profile. And Harding's still getting there a little bit more often, and Giovannini a little bit busier.
Now the jab is going to become a more significant weapon than ever for Harding because he's got to protect the eye. The best way to do that is to keep Giovannini backing up. If he keeps Giovannini backing up, the counter right hand won't get in.
Let's take a look at your card, Dave. Harding still comfortably in front.
But Giovannini still showing a lot of life. Fighting now is somebody with the intensity of stealing this fight.
And I think it's all since the cut appeared. And I think your point is well taken, too. He may feel that he's already taken Harding's best. I'm not sure that's right.
But in his mind, and that's affecting how he's waging this battle. That's probably true.
All right, break out, please. Let's go.
You're seeing Giovannini turn more quickly now after Harding misses the shot. He starts to think, when can I get my counter shot in?
And he's pacing up a little bit, too. You saw that he threw more punches in the last round than Harding did. Not as many got there, but as many were thrown, more were thrown by Giovannini. And in this round, he's a little bit more up-tempo also.
Harding's showing you some defense that's perhaps been a little underrated so far in his career, at least as far as the shots Giovannini's throwing here.
And the other thing that impresses me is the jab of Harding. He's not just a guy who goes in there looking to get a man out of it. And that cut is no worse now than it was when it happened. In fact, if anything, it's a bit better.
And you can thank the work of his jab and the fact that he kept Giovannini away and gave Eddie Aliano a chance.
I'm not sure what happened there. Harding turned toward his corner.
Harding misheard the pounding of the mat, thought it was the bell.
Turned toward his corner.
Jeff Harding misinterprets the pounding of the mat as the sound of the bell, and he turns away with 10 seconds to go, and he got caught.
The pounding of the mat, incidentally, comes with 10 seconds to go in the round here in the state of New Jersey.
And it's a relatively new rule. Harding's only fought once here since the rule's been put in.
All right, come on, work out.
And as you see in the 8th round, this is jabs that we're looking at.
And we talked about it in that particular round as being a critical element for him, and it was.
That's what won the round for him.
Won the round, and it kept the eye from getting any worse.
It's a very good jab. It's not just a jab that he sticks out there and keeps in the man's face. He snaps it.
And that's the difference between whether you drive your opponent off the mark with it or whether you set yourself up for a counter.
A good example of it just a moment ago. He actually knocked Giovannini back with a jab.
See, when he does that, even if he can't follow with a right hand, Giovannini has to reset. And there you saw it illustrated. Giovannini, a fall-away counter right is what it really was. I'm a little surprised Harding hasn't worked the body as much as he could be, considering the fact that his opponent hasn't been fighting many rounds over the last year.
Left hand there by Harding. That time he turned that left hand.
Good sequence by Harding again.
And once again, credit the work of Eddie Eliano in the corner of Jeff Harding. That cut has not opened since it happened.
Get him out. Bring out. Wake up. Come on, wake up.
Good right hand by Harding. And a combination by Harding. A left hand and a right behind it. So Harding finishes this 9th round with a flourish. We'll be back.
Let's go.
Even when Jeff Harding is backed up, he finds a way to score with not one, but 2 loaded shots.
Very good uppercut from Harding. Harding showing a pretty good arsenal.
And showing the instinctive sense of the right punch at the right time.
Well, the reputation that I had heard about Jeff Harding, frankly, was here's a brawler, a guy who can get you out of there. But I've been impressed with the fact that he works off the jab. Punches have a lot of snap. He's obviously well conditioned.
Well, anytime a fighter has some defensive problems, he always gets that bad rap. But considering that he's only had 15 fights, he can improve on that defense, and he's showing that more.
And on your card, Dave, this is getting to be a runaway for the champion.
Harding comfortably ahead, doing a lot of smart things. And winning with the kind of fight much improved over the day he fought Dennis Andres and won the title.
I think the win over Andres might have surprised him as much as it surprised the boxing community. And since that time, now he figures, hey, I beat a pretty good guy, and I don't think there's anybody around who can beat me.
And therefore, I can work on my weaknesses and become strong in all areas.
I do feel that the Virgil Hills and the Prince Charles Williams and Moores have to take a look at this guy and not take it for granted.
You know, they might be still a little bit more technically schooled than he is, but Harding has made a concentrated effort to improve on his defense and his punch selection. Pretty good for 16 pro fights.
Absolutely.
Work out of there, work out of there. Work out of there, suéltalo, suéltalo. Work out.
We talked about the stamina factor at the outset. We'll see how it comes into play for the rest of this fight. Giovannini has not been active.
Let's go.
Giovannini trying a right-hand lead, did get there. That's been a pretty good weapon for him. There was a left hand, drives Giovannini into the ropes. He's hurt. He's in big trouble, trying to hold on. It isn't going to take much for Harding now, and Giovannini goes down.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ¿Cómo está? ¿Está bien?
He's more tired than hurt at this moment.
He's got 7 seconds to get through this round. The bell can't save him, remember. Harding another big left hand and another. And Giovannini will survive this round. And that may be the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for Nestor Giovannini. The first one wasn't a bad punch.
Good shot from the outside by Harding, but here, this is weariness betraying Nestor Giovannini. And they're going to look at this very closely, Barry. If he's not off to a good start in the 11, we may see this thing stop.
As well, they should. He needs a knockout to win the fight. And Harding will come out quickly and see what he can do about ending this thing.
Watch your hand. Huh? Watch your hand. Come on.
Nestor Giovannini going for it here. Not a lot getting there, but good right hand there to the top of Harding's head.
Giovannini seems to be comfortable and not much is expected of him.
Throwing caution to the wind here.
And why not?
Absolutely. That's all he's got. Good left hand. And a huge left. And that's going to be it. It's over. Joe Cortez stopped it. Well, we said he threw caution to the wind. And he paid the price.
He had to take that chance. He was hopelessly behind. But he really got nailed.
Huge left hand. There were a number of them. That was the biggest. And Jeff Harding retains his WBC Light Heavyweight Championship in impressive fashion over Nestor Giovannini of Argentina, and he can now look to a fight with Donnie Lalonde, most likely. They will keep Giovannini down. He is conscious. And they will do this as a precaution. He appears to be okay, and they will get him to a stool now. And they'll keep him on the stool. They take no chances with a fighter who has been knocked down, as Giovannini has, and has absorbed a pretty good punishment from the champion.
And Joe Cortez right away did not even count, giving the physicians 8 more seconds to get in there.
Very smart. Take a look at the left hand.
Now, of course, Giovannini wide open, and Harding hits him with a short punch, and then he's going to load up for the haymaker. Giovannini about to go, and a third one does it.
Yeah, there were actually 2 left hands before the big one. Take another look.
The first one set the tempo there. Good crisp shot by Harding. Now he's waiting to set up the second one. Now he knows it's over, and a lunging shot. When Harding gets up on the balls of his feet and turns, he's got some tremendous power in that left hand.
And Nestor Giovannini seems to be okay, but Jeff Harding retains the championship. Let's make it official with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez steps in to stop this bout at 56 seconds of the 11th round. The winner by TKO. He's still undefeated and still the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jeff the Hitman Harding.